Hi, did you hear what my thoughts for today? And my thoughts for today are, well, you may already know from reading the title of today's vlog, an idea that somebody had. Actually, the person who had the idea was a gentleman named Daniel McCarthy, writing for called the Spectator World. It's definitely a website. That's where I saw this. And I'm not linking it to it. I usually link to articles when I refer to them. The reason I'm not today is because it's behind a paywall. So to read it, you would have to subscribe. So maybe you already are a subscriber. Then I guess just go to the website and look up Daniel McCarthy. You'll see his latest article. But I just had to share this. Now, as a little prelude, you may have noticed ever since Donald Trump took the oath of office for the second time, well, also when he took it the first time in 2017, but even worse, after the second inauguration, liberal heads kind of exploded all over the place. And I don't mean just in the United States, but I would say the European Union and, well, Iran, of course, and Russia. Maybe China. Yeah, I would say China too. They were happier with Biden. Well, they were doing deals with Biden, right? With the Biden family. So they had a nice little arrangement going there. So liberal heads exploding. But if you really want to see liberal heads explode, this idea is so great. And so, well, it piqued my interest so much I just had to share it. So that's enough of a build-up. Now, this is Donald Trump, of course. This is his second term. Cannot run again. And Trump has done so much. I've been talking about, I've done at least two thoughts on this, two vlogs on this, how much he's accomplished in only, 3 months now. Well, January, February, end of January, February, March, April, May, like 4 months. May's not over yet. So I thought of Alexander the Great. Somebody mentioned this. It was talking about Alexander the Great. He died at the age of 32, but even then, before he died, he was a sad guy, Alexander the Great, because he said, I've conquered so much, what's left for me to conquer? What's left for me to do? And to have that at the end, I would have said China, but at the end of, to be only 32 years old. So Trump might be facing the same thing. After you've been president of the United States, I guess he can go make speeches, he can go back into real estate, but after you've been president, I don't think that's going to satisfy somebody like Donald Trump. So there is another possibility that I think is really, I would love to see. Now, one caveat is Donald Trump is, I believe, 78 today, so by the time he left office. So he would, I guess, it's an enticing thought. Maybe it wouldn't work or not for very long because of how short a time this would be. But anyways, the second thing that would be needed is a Supreme Court vacancy, another Supreme Court vacancy, and then Trump would, if it happens during his presidency, he would get to nominate another Supreme Court justice, and this is where it gets really good. Now, if he's accomplished so much, and let's say happens he's got maybe a year or maybe a few months left of his presidency, he has a chance to nominate a Supreme Court justice. Why not nominate himself? Donald Trump, I hereby nominate myself, Donald J. Trump, as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. And talk about liberal heads. First of all, you would have there's no more filibuster of of Supreme Court nominees. That's number one. And number two, you have a Republican Republican Senate now. Now, if the vacancy were to occur after the midterm election, then it would also depend on the Republicans maintaining control, retaining control of the Senate. But if they did and Trump nominated himself, well, can you imagine Justice Donald J. Trump? And could you imagine the the cases, the debate, before the Supreme Court. Could you imagine that? But could you just imagine the exploding? The liberals, they would just go crazy. And I think he would be, this is the bottom line, I think he would be a very good Supreme Court justice. Definitely he could not be worse. I wouldn't put him up there with Scalia, rest in peace, or Alito, or Thomas, but definitely, if Sotomayor was the one who had to leave, retired. She has diabetes, she has health problems. So if she had to leave and Trump were to nominate himself in place of Sotomayor, definitely we would be getting, if you're a conservative, as I am, we would be getting a much better Supreme Court justice. And that's it. That's the idea. I just heard it today, and I just had to share it. So there you go. It's really thinking out of the box. The odds that it would happen, very small. But I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So there's a comment section below this video, right down there. You could comment. I'd love to hear your comments one way or the other. And beyond that, share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Send it to Donald Trump. Maybe, give him the idea. And if you could subscribe, that would really be great. But most of all, come back and see me again. I'd love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.